Welcome back. And we're now looking at how you should do step 2. So let's apply this to our exam question, which, if you remember, we identified the issue as being intention to create legal relations. So the first thing then that we want to do is to define or explain what's meant by intention to create legal relations. And here I've written it for you. Intention to create legal relations means that the parties must intend their agreement to have force of law. Now, in most exam questions, we'd now be going on to writing about rules and exceptions. Actually, we don't really have that in the topic, intention to create legal relations. But instead, we have presumptions and rebuttal. It's kind of the equivalent of rules and exceptions. Although a presumption, of course, is not a rule. It's something that the law assumes to be true until the contrary is shown. And where the contrary is shown, that's called rebuttal of the presumption. So let's write out the presumptions. And there are 2 of them. The first one, where an agreement is made in a social or domestic or family context, the law presumes that the parties do not intend to be legally bound. Whereas, in the second presumption, if we're looking at the business or commercial context, the law presumes that the parties do intend to be contractually bound. So having done the presumptions, let's now move on to rebuttal. So both of the presumptions can be rebutted where there is evidence to the contrary. And of course that evidence may be the express words of the parties, or it may arise from the surrounding circumstances. And I'm now going to be putting in a case. I mentioned there was Balfour and the Balfour, but the one that's closer to the facts given here is merit and merit. And that actually dealt with rebuttal where the parties were separated. So have a look at how I've written out merit and merit. Notice I focused purely on the separation part, purely on the rebuttal aspect of the case. That's focusing on what's wanted. Our next video will be focusing on step 3, the application.